How you doing, you guys? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Joe
NEPA beer reviews
here, doing a brew day, brewing 3 beers today.
Yes.
I did a lot. I sat there and talked. I held a bucket. I carried some water.
Yep.
And a couple other things. So
he's a brewer now.
I'm a very crucial component to the process. So we figured to pop off a couple of reviews, a little homebrew goodness, courtesy of Joe here. What do we got?
We have either the stout or Barleywine.
We're thinking it's Barleywine.
We're thinking it's Barleywine.
Okay.
Only opening the bottle will tell. If you know what? Let's
open it. Open the bottle and find out. Yeah. Awesome labeling, as always. You know.
Barleywine.
Barleywine. There we go. That settles it. So we're doing a Barleywine. What do we got going on in this one?
We have bourbon-soaked oak chips and coffee beans.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good.
We get a cameo from Joe's mom. Yeah.
Are you on?
Oh yeah, they got a camera going. You're gonna be famous on the internet.
Hey.
But yeah, you said it's coffee beans.
Yeah.
And bourbon-soaked chips. What kind of bourbon?
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace. And how long did it soak?
Just under a month.
Just under a month?
Yeah. So,
And what else was I going to say? This is a base barley one you've been tweaking for a while now, right?
yeah, I'm kind of playing around with the recipe. Kind of hit. I wanted something a little different going into this one than I did the last time. I'm just kind of playing around.
Yeah, this is the third one I had. I had your previous one, which was just chips, no coffee.
No coffee. The
Then
first
I had
one
a
that
plain one.
The first, I think we reviewed it.
Yes.
That was Maker's Mark oak chips.
Okay.
Then the second one that we reviewed was just
Barley wine.
straight barley wine. This one now is.
And
coffee beans
from my
and
personal
chips.
opinion, they get better every time. So
Yeah.
if this isn't better, buddy,
I don't know.
You're kind of screwed.
I know, right?
First things first, no, you're not, because it's going to be good.
Yeah.
First off, it looks like a barley wine. Exactly. What did you use in it? Do you care to people know that?
Eventually I'll probably put up a little recipe
Yeah.
tasting notes thing on the site. I cut down on the caramel malt and I used Special B malt. I've never used it before, and I just kind of wanted to see what it would give. I've heard kind of raisiny, fruity notes.
Okay.
Could come through with it, and that's really
What kind of hops?
hops. I think ounce to ounce and a half of Cascade at the start of the boil, and then that's it.
And this came in, you said, right around 10 change?
This is 10-2,
There you go.
I think.
So yeah, it has a awesome barley wine color to it. It's English. It's not American barley wine.
Mm-hmm.
Aged, looks beautiful. Let's see what she smells like.
It's actually pretty fresh. We bottled. This is what's today?
Today's the 26th.
26th. This is. So we bottled this on the 3rd.
Okay.
So this is.
Yeah, they're 3 weeks old.
Yeah,
pretty much.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Huge barrel. You
Yeah.
smell the chips in there, man. That's a big.
See, I get a lot of the fresh coffee, the coffee bean smell.
Yeah, the coffee's there. I smell vanilla. I smell what smells like chips and smells like barrel. I get the coffee. Yeah, there's a lot of the non-beer components in there, which is kind of cool, but it still smells. It smells like a pretty damn good beer. What do you get other than the coffee?
Other than the coffee, that's what really comes out to me the most.
It's nice
little,
and sweet.
Yeah, a little sweetness, a little bit of that vanilla that was coming out. I get a little bit of the bourbon too. I'll probably get it more in the flavor, but without the whiskey heat, you really get to taste what you'll know what Buffalo Trace tastes like.
Yeah.
You know.
Cheers. Oh yeah. Definitely get a bit more bourbon in there.
Yeah.
In the mouth. Awesome mouthfeel as usual. That's always been I think that's the thing I commented most on both of them was the...
Yeah, that's one thing that I really have dialed in is just the mouthfeel.
Yeah, nice creamy, just above medium mouthfeel. It's not the thickest beer in the world, but it's got this nice fluffy density to it. It's sweet. It's not even close to being overly sweet.
No.
The coffee, I don't get too much in the mouth. More in the nose than in the mouth.
It's way more in the...
but I feel like I get the ever so slightest coffee bitterness from it. The bourbon's definitely there. I get that slight burn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just a little bit of alcohol heat to it.
Which is, I mean, shit. It's 3 weeks old.
Yeah, it's not even a month old.
Yeah. And this is, I think it's going to age pretty damn nice.
I think so.
It tastes awesome as it is, but you can taste there's like the flavors, whether it be in the nose or in the mouth. It's like the nose is the coffee, for me the barrel, and then it's like that kind of vanilla. But they're not as melded. They're very sharp. Same thing in the mouth. Like it's like, okay, you get the bourbon, you get a little bit of coffee bitterness there. You get some sweetness there. They're not super cohesive, but that's what time does. You know what I mean? Kind of blend it all together. I think it's awesome. I think it's... How do I put it? I've liked them all, and it's not just because I like Joe, because Joe knows that if I didn't like it, I'd say it sucks. So I'm not just saying.
You would. You're very honest.
Which is what you want. That's what I think people really want deep down inside. Unless you make crappy stuff all the time, and then you hate that person, but because really you should hate yourself. Anyway, I like it better than the last one, the first one that you did.
Yeah, the very first one. Same here.
Yeah,
I like that. I like this. I think I've gotten my like system for doing bigger beers has definitely improved over time. I
will say this: the coffee. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it in a barley wine.
See, what I was kind of going for was like a pseudo mash and grind from the brewery.
Yeah.
So I really liked that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see like, what would happen if I did this recipe and tossed fucking coffee beans in there, you know?
Yeah. What kind of coffee? Do you remember?
I don't. Like picked up a price chopper, like nothing like cheap.
But
it wasn't like a
crazy artisan.
Yeah, it wasn't like crazy stuff. It wasn't like a bag of like Folgers whole grain coffee.
It wasn't chock full of nuts.
Yeah, it was not. It was a decent, like, kind of grocery store brand coffee. You know.
It's a weird thing with the barley wine coffee thing. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just a little bit. It's an odd mixture.
Yeah.
It's kind of like but it can work. You know what I mean? I don't know. It'd be hard. Is there a specific... Because Joe's going to brewery school. Was there a specific, like... Do they teach you, like, okay, you should use these kind of coffees or this kind of coffee? Is there, like, specific...
No, it's just kind of, like, figure it out.
Yeah, as you
know,
go.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I don't know, use something else.
Let's see. Rating-wise, let's give it a rating. Joe doesn't rate any homebrew.
It's my beer anyway. I'm not gonna rate it.
Yeah, people do that.
I know,
and they're always like, "Wow, this is like an A+."
Yeah, sure it is.
Where it sits right now with the age and everything, I'd probably give it an 85. I think it can grow and push 90. I don't know if it's gonna get that much bigger. Actually, you know what? It might, because the coffee might there's a little bit of bitterness there, and that's kind of weird in the barley wine. I think that's what's bothering me more than the coffee taste. Like if it was,
it kind of. I think it works in a way to like if it wasn't there, because it's not hop bitterness. It's clearly like a slight coffee bitterness.
Yeah,
I think it would help. It helps kind of cut the sweetness.
But I don't think this is nearly
it's
overly sweet.
It's not overly sweet, but I think
so. I don't think it would be overly sweet without it.
Yeah.
If you ramped up the sweetness, or maybe the age will take care of that.
Yeah.
That bitterness in there. I'm not quite sure.
This is like really the first time we're doing like a super fresh bottle of like any of my beers.
Yeah, you're talking about, like you said, what, 3? So you had it, you fermented for a month and then bottled.
Yeah.
For
so
3 days.
I fermented it for a week and then added the chips and the coffee beans and let it sit from March 7th until April 3rd.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, really, for being that fresh, that's a fucking fresh beer. Yeah. Especially when you're talking about a barrel aged barley wine. Yeah. I mean, you know me. I'm like, oh, that's 4 years old. Maybe we should let it sit a couple more years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
So the alcohol booziness that burner is obviously from the bourbon. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not from the beer itself.
Because there's like, I didn't strain out the liquid that was in the chips. It all went in. So like there is at least, with top ups, cup and a half of bourbon. Yeah. That went in there.
In a 5-gallon batch?
In a 5-gallon batch.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be there.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, I can't wait to try this beer in about 3 months.
Yeah.
I think 3 months is when it's really going to hit its stride. And then I would say it would be even better in a couple years, but I'm sure it'll all be drank by then. No, you save beer. You're good at saving beer.
I am.
Yeah, see, he is. I'm beer. But yeah, so like I said, I give it an 85 where it sits, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get in the 90s pretty damn easily. And like, it's weird because, you know, Joe's my buddy, and I'm, like I said, there's probably some bias in there. I try not to be as biased as I can, but I'm definitely an asshole enough to not be biased, so we'll see. Anyway.
You did say, like, the very first time you ever tried anything that I've made, you're like, I'm drinking this because I want to, not because I feel like I have to.
Yeah, and this I want to drink. Value and availability, 10, because I never pay for it, and it's whenever I want it, I get it.
It's a constant supply for free.
Give it to me now. All they have to do is carry a bucket of water every now and then.
Yep.
To me, that's a nice trade-off. Yep. So yeah, not too bad. What's the name of this one?
This is Wired Rider, which was originally a stout, and I think it's going to be kind of like a homebrew series where I just take a style and add coffee beans to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
The stout kind of turned on us halfway through bottling. Yeah. It kind of soured and did a little, I think it was the vanilla beans, but whatever.
You just slap a sour label on it and sell it. That's what breweries do anyway, right? Oh, this beer went sideways. Now we made a Imperial Sour. Imperial Stout Sour.
It's a sour stout, yeah.
With coffee. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's, you know, because Amanda was, the name came from Amanda. She was more of like when we were first doing our reviews, she was more of a writer than I was, and I was doing more of the video reviews. And now, like, I've basically stopped doing video reviews and have completely switched over to writing, which I kind of like a little bit more now.
Yeah. And where do they get you at for that?
NEPAbeerreviews.squarespace.com. Or if you watch any of our toward the last couple reviews that Matt posted, it would probably be some indistinguishable sound that would come out of my mouth.
Yeah, like the Chocolate Manifesto one.
Yeah,
this is good here, man. This is good stuff.
I didn't watch any more of them, honestly.
NEPA Beer Reviews on Instagram if you want to see updates. That's probably the best. I mean, you always post on there.
Yeah,
when you
Instagram.
Do an update, right?
I'm putting more stuff on Facebook as well, but mostly Instagram at NEPA Beer Reviews.
And me, you can catch Massive Beers, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, and here you go. Another review in the books. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed a nice homebrew right now, and hopefully see you next time. Cheers.